Hey guys, welcome into today's video. This is going to be a brand new series on my channel. It's going to be a foundation a day for 42 days. The reason that I wanted to start this video is that I have 51 foundations in my permanent collection. It's the number 2 item, maybe number 1 right now, of makeup that I really like testing. I'm really into testing new foundations. It switches back and forth usually between blush, eyeshadow, and foundation, my 3 favorite makeup categories, probably a lot of people's favorite makeup categories. But 51 foundations is just too much for me to have in my collection. I recently did a makeup declutter, and I will link that up in the cards, where I went through my whole collection and I decluttered, breaking some of my makeup into 3 different categories: keep, declutter, and then I made up a third, which was items that I want to keep for reference, but I'm going to take out of my permanent collection and move into the closet where I keep makeup that I think is popular, relevant, things that I may want to reference in future videos, but that I don't want to use in my personal everyday life. But I did not do that with foundation. And recently I've gone through a really big skin change. In the last 8 months to a year, I have gone from really, really dry skin to very, very oily skin, and a lot of foundations that used to work for me that were more on the dewy, natural finish side just aren't working these days. So I'm grabbing and loving more matte foundations. So some of my foundations in my collection predate my skin change. So the reason for this series, I don't want to just declutter foundations based on memory. I want to retest a lot of them because some of them are pretty expensive. Some of them I may re-love, some of them I may not like or may not work for me now, and it's time to make that determination. So while I have 51 foundations in my collection, this is foundation a day for 42 days because there are 9 foundations I have already made a decision on. Some of them I'm actually testing. They haven't gone into speed reviews, but I've worn them very recently, so I know exactly how I feel about them, but I will have to move them into wherever they're going to go, keep, declutter, or in the reference pile. And then there are some that I'm testing that I already absolutely love, haven't gone into a speed reviews, and I know that I'm going to be keeping them. And then 2 of them I have already made the decision that I'm going to declutter. Welcome into day 27. Today we are testing the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. The reason that I grabbed this one is because I was starting to look at it and it looks maybe like it's oxidized a little bit. It definitely seems a little bit darker than when I first got it. And I think that this is the second oldest one that I have left to test. I think there's one other that's just a little bit older than that. So I figured we'd target the ones that are a little bit older to decide whether or not they stay, they go. I do remember this being a foundation that I really liked. Pretty sure I haven't reached for it since I had more combo oily skin, but I did really like it when I had dry skin. I think this was like a really polarizing product. Right down the middle, I feel like 50% of people didn't like it and the other 50 did. I was one of those that really did. At the time, this was the very first foundation that I tested of Charlotte's. Since then, I have tested the Airbrush Flawless Finish foundation, and I just wore it yesterday. It's one of my favorite foundations in my collection. It's a more mattifying foundation, so it's made for people with more combo oily skin, I think more full coverage, but I think this was Charlotte's release to give us something more hydrating, something meant for people with dry skin, a little bit more glowy, not as mattifying. Anyway, I'm not sure how I'm gonna love it now and the shade, seeing as it seems to have oxidized. So let's get into talking about this and we'll get into application. So this comes in 30 shades, retails for $49. I have mine in the shade 3 Neutral. This is supposed to provide a 16-hour natural glow. It's supposed to have buildable medium coverage that is supposed to hydrate, smooth, blur, and brighten the skin. It has hyaluronic acid that is supposed to hydrate the skin, rose complex that smooths the skin, and Bix Active to reduce shine and blur pores. This was made in Italy. It has 1 fluid ounce and it has a 12-month shelf life. When I was putting this on the back of my hand just now, I can tell that the product is like slightly separated. You can't really shake these tubes, so I've kind of just been like going like this, but yeah, it definitely seemed to have separated a little bit in this tube. Yeah, there's not much you can do to kind of shake this up, more so than I kind of already did before I started this. So I don't know if I've had this longer than 12 months. I feel like I haven't, but I absolutely could have, although I keep all my foundations longer than 12 months. I don't know about you guys. So let's go into the left side. That one looks a little bit better. And we are just going to do a damp sponge today. I don't remember the finish on this, just because it says that it has a natural glow finish isn't always what I get. Clean, damp, and sponge. Let's go. I think it does have a natural glow. I do remember this formula being pretty buildable. I'd say what I put on was pretty light coverage. I don't think I want to build it. I just kind of like the way this looks. I don't remember if it blurs my skin either, so we'll have to test that out. I think I'm gonna leave it just like that. It's one of those days where my hair is just driving me nuts. Yeah, see, some of the like pigmentation here looks a little separated. Like I can see the white pigmentation like mixed throughout until I really start to blend this in. So I don't know if this is one of those products where it's like, it's a hard 12 months, kids. I should have put my earrings on afterward. I'm sorry. My grandmother got me these for Christmas. Aren't they just so cute? They're Brighton earrings. I used to love Brighton jewelry. I still have a bunch of Brighton jewelry in my collection. Haven't worn it in a while because I don't wear like my bracelets and a lot of bracelets and necklaces that I used to wear from Brighton. But I just thought these were adorable, so I wanted to wear them today. As I'm filming this, it is the day after Christmas, so I wanted to throw these on and I couldn't wait to get them on, but they're just annoying the poo-poo out of me as I'm filming this. So if they're annoying you, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I see the natural glow. I think it's more light, maybe light medium coverage. I feel like this is sinking into the skin nicely. I don't think the shade is too deep, even though it kind of looks like it's oxidized in the tube a little bit, even though it seemed to separate a little bit. What I'm getting from it right now, the way it's looking on my skin, looks really, really good. And this is what I remember about it, just being light to medium coverage that just didn't do anything offensive. Okay, this is the part where I jump off. I'm gonna finish the rest of my makeup. We will do one final check-in after that. And then I will go about my day. I will do a natural light check-in for you guys. I will do a 4-hour natural light check-in, and then we will come back at the end of the night, usually at a minimum of 8 hours, although it is pretty early in the day today because I am now getting ready. And at the end of the night, we'll decide whether or not this one makes the cut and gets to stay, or if it goes. This is such a pretty foundation. Like so far my complexion, it does look smoother. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look dry. It just is the standard kind of medium coverage that I just feel like kind of looks pretty natural in the skin. This is what I remember about it. I'm really interested to see the wear on this. That's one thing I really can't remember is how did this wear? Like how long did it last on my skin? Now that my skin has changed and it's more combo and I tend to sweat in the T-zone like a crazy person. So I'm interested to see how it reacts with my oils because I don't think I was overly sweaty the last time I tested this. In fact, I was mostly dry in the T-zone. So I think everything looks pretty good. I am definitely excited to show you guys what this looks like in natural light. So let me go and do that. And then I will see you guys back here when it is dark outside. Bye for now. Welcome back, you guys. It has been, I want to say roughly 9 hours. I was moving some office supplies and it was pretty humid and I was sweating a lot. And I thought, oh no, I'm totally going to screw up the wear test. But I think it's fine. I think it's a good indication of like what I would normally put myself through. I guess not myself, but like the foundation itself. And also it's a pretty stressful day at work. So I have been touching my face like this and just all sorts of touching just right here from all the contemplating and all the stress of today. It's been lovely. So I've taken off a ton of the foundation, like it's basically off of my nose and like right around my mouth because I've been doing this, and I want to show you guys what it looked like in natural light. I actually think it was very smoothing on the skin, very, very natural. I think it was a perfect amount of medium, light to medium coverage. It just looked healthy, I think is the overall thing that I saw most. Then at the 4-hour mark, at that point, I had already moved a lot of the office furniture and had already sweat a lot, so I know that some of it was coming off, but I still think it looked healthy and natural. The biggest thing was how it wore. It didn't break down as I started to sweat. It didn't like break apart the foundation, which sometimes happens when I start to sweat. If it fades off of me evenly or just absorbs into the skin, that's the kind of foundation that I really like if it's not going to be like a longer lasting one, or just any foundation in general. The only reason I would have gotten rid of this, I think, is if it did something funny, which it hasn't done before, and or the shade on this just didn't look good on me, but I think it was fine. I don't think it was a bad shade overall. I look like I've had a rough day today. It's been a rough day. Even after 9 hours, I'm just really surprised how much like has come off of my face. So I don't think it's a very long lasting foundation, but I think it's really beautiful. It just seems that Charlotte Tilbury complexion products work for me really well. That's the bottom line that I see. So the new tally is I have decluttered 14 and I am keeping 13. I am creeping right up on my half and half mark. I'm a little bit nervous that the rest of the foundations are going to end up staying in my collection because I have taken a peek and I don't know how many of them I would want to declutter. No, I'm still going to try and do half. That's going to be the ultimate goal here. Even though I am going to acquire more foundations in the year of 2024, I'm going to be better about understanding wear tests and what my current preferences are so that when I keep a foundation, I know that I really enjoy it as opposed to I'm just keeping it because I bought it. So some things I will do better about keeping as reference items to talk about in upcoming videos, or just putting away to talk about in the worst of beauty for that year. So yes, she gets to stay, declutter 14, keeping 13. As always, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this series. If you are not currently subscribed, I would love to see you subscribe so you stick around for days 28 through 42 of foundation a day. I'm out of here, and I hope to catch you all in the next video. Bye guys.